It's really interesting. Sort of talking previously about your placements in architecture. Let's say it's Scott Brownrigg and EPR Architects. Do you find that having that prior experience has helped you with your career, sort of going forward? Let's say with Delva
Mm.
Patman Redler.
Yeah, definitely. It helps that I know I can read drawings. I mean, that goes without saying, I
Yeah.
suppose, but um, it's sometimes not that easy. And even I look at a drawing now and I think, what are they trying to communicate? I mean, at the end of the day, a drawing is about communication, um, and a
Hmm.
line is not just a line on a piece of paper, but it's information. You know,
Yeah.
and I think um, you have to always keep that in mind. Being able to visualize in 3 dimensions, of course, that's what architects do all the time. It's a very important part
Hmm.
of your work that you can look at a 2 dimensional drawing and visualize in 3D. But the other thing, of course, is that I did do a stint 3 years as a building control officer, which was also a
Okay.
complete eye opener for me. Yeah, after I left and before I started at DPR, Delva Patman Redler, um, I did 3 years as a Wandsworth building control officer, and that was also, a very steep learning curve because having done drawings all my life, to then actually
Yeah.
see not on a big, multi-million pound site such as the MOD procurement centre in Bristol, which is where I was on site. But the kind of muck and bullets, St George's Hospital, blocks of flats, everyone's rear extension, loft conversions, this kind of thing. You're actually seeing it happen, and it's also happening very quickly because people don't want to keep their roofs off for longer than
Wow.
is absolutely necessary. So, there was a lot of learning there, and it was a very good thing for me to do career-wise, but also, my own personal development, really, just to have that experience. So, yeah.
Would you would you recommend that experience to, say, if someone's going through a sort of a changing careers or something, to experience that first, or say if they're thinking about moving practices or wants to get a better understanding of the construction industry and building control, would you recommend someone goes into that field for a little bit and test the waters out?
Definitely. I think it would be a very good thing for somebody who's learning about building to do. Definitely.
Hmm.
If you're learning about design, if you're learning about construction, working on a building site, that's the other thing. Get out there, work on a building site. I mean, what better way to learn about building sites than to work on one?
Yeah, because I think that's one thing that's maybe missing from the sort of university scene, is because I remember when I left university, and then we smashed out all these concepts and we would really understand how to put a concept together. But taking that into a form of building and understanding how a building fits together, that's almost like a completely new area for me to personally learn, in a sense.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's sort of what's lacking, is how them things fit together at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. And I think people used to be keen to work on building sites. You'd say, "Oh, I spent a summer as a bricklayer," or something like that.
Hmm.
And so to give you that raw experience of working on a building site. So, and
Yeah.
it frames your narrative really of how a building is put together because you've worked on a building site. And it's not just about drawing
Hmm.
pictures of buildings. Not that, of course, you do need that.
It's
Mm.
a weird one, isn't it? Because the micro influences the macro, and the macro influences the micro. So it's a sort of a
Yeah.
double-edged sword in a sense, isn't it? You get one, and it benefits the other all the time. But
Exactly, exactly. You
yeah, I
can't
always
have
think
one
that's
without
really
the other.
interesting.
And you see that's in a way that's the thing about the architect is that they see all of that. They see the macro and they see the
Hmm.
micro. Um, and you start with your site plan, you start with your planning regulations for that local area, and you finish with the paint
Yeah.
color inside, you know, the bedroom.